What nuts? It is Wednesday, September 17th in the United States and Canada, and this is a show called What Chaos in Boston, Massachusetts. My name is David Bean. I sit beside the great Pete Blackburn, and across the room is our dear friend Sean DePaz. Sean, Pete,
yes.
Hi to both of you.
Hello,
to
friend.
you individually.
Hi to eat.
Well, I guess I can also say hi to Pete. You just kind of.
It's like the first Patriots Super Bowl. We're all coming out as a team.
Yes, and I am making the executive decision to yank the fucking plug on the throwing it around the horn. We never got it right. We never figured it out. Quite frankly, it led to a lot of tension. Afterwards, Pete and I would confide in each other that it was your fault, Sean.
I mean, you can confide whatever you want. I know that's not true.
I mean, if we had to cancel
This is what
everything
we were
on the
confiding
show,
about.
if we had to cancel everything on the show that we hadn't figured out or had a hard time, executing, the show probably wouldn't exist.
Well, we wouldn't get anything done. We'd be confiding in each other about how things didn't work. But a lot of things are working in hockey right now. So we're going to give you a nice show about the beautiful game of puck. Pete, tell the folks what'll be on it.
Wow, it's getting close to the regular season when we immediately get to the show lineup. Today on the show, we're going to talk about Kaprizov plus McDavid problems. There is some of those going around. We're going to talk about the Sabres landing an all-star, a really big acquisition for our friends in Buffalo. Massive get.
Yep.
Big
All-star.
time
Emphasis on the all-star. Can never take that away.
Let's talk about that in a little bit. Let's also talk about screaming.
No, we're not going to talk about screaming. We will be screaming.
We're going to be screaming?
Yeah.
Why are we screaming?
I don't know. You see the attitude Sean was taking off the rip?
I mean, that attitude was only it was.
You were matching a bad
Offensive.
attitude that I brought to you.
Yeah.
Find out why we're screaming later.
Sean,
I don't
you
know
know-
what that. I don't know what that is.
Wait, dude,
oh,
really?
Of course, yeah. Yeah. You know what it is.
I don't know what it is.
What things?
So-
What things in hockey famously scream?
Scream Eagles. They scream.
Yep.
Well,
We're going to be talking about the Eagles.
ruins the tease. But we're going to have plenty of Jersey talk later in the show, including part 2 of our Jersey giveaway. We did a Jersey giveaway stream last year. We got a new twist on it this year, but we're running it back with our friends at Fanatics. So stay tuned to the end of the episode. We'll talk about that Jersey giveaway stream.
Yeah, very, very exciting things. We're going to begin, though, with the biggest news in hockey, and that is that Senators defenseman Jabril Torre, I should say Belleville Senators, but whatever.
Well, he was playing for the Senators at the time.
He was playing for the Senators in an exhibition game and wore a do-rag. These are the beautiful moments in hockey that we love. He had his helmet off. Not only did he wear a do-rag, there was an opportunity for his helmet to not be on so folks could see that he was wearing a do-rag. We love representation in our game. Also, 76 a good number, but I'm not going to get distracted.
I also got distracted by that when I first saw it.
Pretty
Agreed.
distracted.
Shout out American independence in Canada.
Well,
But-
I mean, that's not what I was thinking. It's just like 76 is a noted number of a very famous black hockey player, PK Subban.
That's a good point, and good from you, because you were saying before the show, you were saying you don't see color, and we were like, Pete,
I don't think Pete has ever suggested that he doesn't see color. I honestly didn't even.
He's loudly suggested he does.
Yes. I don't. That didn't even register with me that was PK's number, to be quite honest.
Really?
Yeah. No.
Wow. Okay. Sean
Black
just
people
says-
don't memorize black hockey numbers, Pete. I don't know if you.
I see
knew
them
that.
for the
Sean
the
just
man.
keeps saying that PK's number one. PK's number one.
True.
PK's number
I see
one.
them for the men that they are, not the clothes on their backs.
I will say, I mean, obviously, hockey in the NHL has been predominantly white.
Bold.
I was kind of surprised that this was kind of news. I was like, oh, someone hasn't worn like, I don't know. Like, I played hockey with kids who wore do-rags.
Duke never wore a do-rag when he had his braids.
I feel like if somebody had, this would have been debunked.
I agree.
Like the days since.
The thing is, and I get that this is the first time he's done it at a quote-unquote NHL level, but Torre's worn do-rags before and like in juniors and stuff like that. Like there's pictures of him with
the Orlando Solar Bears, I believe.
Was it the Solar Bears?
Yeah,
okay, yeah. I saw other pictures of him not in a Senators jersey wearing his do-rag as well. So
I think we came really prepared to this conversation, and I think that we've done a good thing, and I think that we've made a lot of progress.
All I'll say is that I'm pretty glad that a white hockey player has not worn a do-rag at the NHL level.
Yes, true.
Yeah.
Although,
I mean, maybe they have. I don't know.
Yeah, it's possible. I mean,
we don't know what's going on under goalie. We don't know what's going on under the goalie.
Do-rags were worn, I will say, heavily by white people around the turn of the century.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. And not in any way. No, I mean, not to my knowledge. I'm a white person, but like, I don't think there was a conversation about how, like, the appropriation aspect of that.
I don't think there was a conversation about appropriation at all.
We didn't have that word yet, and we badly needed it.
My lovely wife has told me about many times in her high school days, they had like themed days for the school.
Don't have to tell the story. No one's making you tell the story.
No, I'm not. It has nothing to do with her, but like, just like she says that obviously it was a different time.
Yeah.
And there was like themes that would not have flown.
Shocker.
In today's society, and like there were white kids that wore do-rags to the high school.
I mean,
that's not like
what I'm
a
saying.
secret.
Like,
yeah,
no, that's what I'm saying.
That is what it was like. People wearing hats.
Well, it depends on, like, there's a difference between wearing a do-rag and wearing a do-rag because it's like
as part of a theme.
Oh, right, as a costume.
As part of a costume.
Yes.
That's what this was.
Unsurprising to me.
Do-rags, yeah. I mean, my knowledge of it was like do-rags were like kind of like matching accessories for like if you had like say you had like a red jersey or something, like a red and white jersey, and you had like a red hat, like someone would wear like a red do-rag on a white do-rag under it or something to give it a little pop of
I always think of Nelly. Like Nelly with the backwards football jersey.
I dressed up as Nelly for Halloween one time. Had the Band-Aid under the eye. Had the do-rag. Had the backwards jersey. Yeah. I mean, for what it's worth, do-rags are just to protect your hair. So it's just that white people tend to have hair that doesn't need as protection as much. But like, in theory, there's nothing wrong. Like, there's plenty of like white women who wear bonnets and stuff like that just to protect their hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out to Catherine Dupuis, said that her high school had that too. Gangsta Day.
Hell yeah.
That's what it was. It's insane.
If it was Gangster Day in 2025, I'm wearing a suit because politicians are the real gangsters and thugs.
Oh,
businessmen.
Nice.
I was confused by like the whole gangster thug thing as a child because I grew up in Massachusetts where there are like very famous gangsters.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming Catherine's high school's depiction of Gangsta Day was not what
extremely
my
just
knowledge
racist.
of. Yes, it was just racist. Bad conversation. Let's talk hockey.
By the way, I just want to say, shout out Paul Wall real quick, because when I hear gangster, I think Paul Wall.
Paul Wall?
Yeah, at this point.
Okay.
That's a gangster. Get your girls
out.
Yes.
Score one for us.
Is this better? Is this better? Notes that Prison Mike wore a do-rag, and that is
definitely not
fine.
racist. There was no racism involved in that skit at all.
No, Prison Mike was just a guy that was in prison.
Yep.
Also, 10 seconds, the paper, not that bad. It was just the Esmeralda character is the worst thing that's ever happened to the world. Other than that, fine show.
It's not good.
It's not good. I've seen 3 episodes, and just like they don't feel like real people outside of a couple of them.
Because I mean, you can't do The Office in 2025. Like those people.
No, I think you can. I really do think you can.
Not with those.
There are good characters though
that
I like. Jason, I like Detrick. Mare seems like the only character on the show that would be a character on other shows.
Well,
and like is an actual TV show character.
I feel like any of them you could have dropped into the actual Office for a couple of episodes and it had been interesting. But as a show, none of them work.
Okay, Minnesota Wild, big trouble. They've got a great player and are just throwing money at him, are on the record of saying we will give the guy a blank check, and he's not signing for $16 million a year. That news came in during our show last week, and we were like, dude, what are you doing? What are you possibly doing? And now there's been more reporting on it that he's a little embarrassed that his teammates found out about it. Elliot Friedman, I think, brought up a good point, which is like maybe he's just waiting because they said they're going to give him a blank check. So if they're starting with $16 million a year, yeah, that's a very, very serious offer. But he's probably like, you'll give me 18. You'll give me 19, something like that. What do you make of the Wild situation right now?
I make of it that like this is a cause for concern for sure if you're Minnesota. Number one, like the starting point being, I don't think I would pay Kirill Kaprizov $16 million a year for 8 years.
I would. If I'm the Wild, definitely.
But that's the thing. Like the Wild shouldn't have to think like that. And I'll say this. I don't want Kirill Kaprizov to go anywhere. I want him to stay with the Wild because we've been asking for so long for the Wild to have superstars, like really like franchise defining generational players. Kirill Kaprizov can absolutely be that. And they are looking like they're about to turn the corner, and Kirill Kaprizov should be at the center of it. I want him to stay there. My problem is I don't think I would pay him $16 million a year because I think that's above what like his value should be right now.
I don't know. I think that a projection is involved in it, and that's the cap going up. And Elliot said this on 32 Thoughts, like you have to not think of it in terms of if player A's contract is such, player B's contract should be such. Like 1 year after Leon Draisaitl begins a $14 million a year contract, should Kirill Kaprizov in a just world be making $2 million more than that? No, but I always go to this, like, do you want the player or not? And
yeah, of course, but like
I would pay if I'm the Wild, I'd pay Kirill Kaprizov $18 million.
No, that's crazy. That's crazy. I don't think that Kirill Kaprizov, he's an unbelievable player, like one of the best players in the league. I don't think he's a blank check player. I think there's maybe like one or two blank check players in the league.
Isn't he in a blank check situation? I think there's like I'm in agreement with. I think there's like 4 blank check players, and I think that Kaprizov isn't one of them. But Kirill Kaprizov to the Minnesota Wild is a blank check player.
I don't think he is. Like he's not the only guy there. Like obviously he is the centerpiece of what they're doing there, but they have these like next tier players who can help elevate this team. And like, would I let Kirill Kaprizov walk for nothing? Absolutely not. But that brings me to my next point. It's like you're kind of in panic mode for the Wild right now because you have to make a decision. And I think you have to make a decision. I don't know how soon, but you don't bring it to next offseason. That is for sure. And I do think that a trade should definitely be on the table for Kaprizov. And that's why I think the Wild have to set a ceiling. Like he should not be a blank check player. He should not be given whatever he wants. There should be a cap on what they're willing to pay him. And if he goes over that, trade him and get pieces back, because I think your return for Kirill Kaprizov could set you up kind of nicely too.
Okay, if you think you're going to get jerked around on this thing and that he's not taking your very serious overtures seriously himself, definitely take calls on him. Definitely see what's out there. Bookies.com put out odds for Kaprizov's next team, leading with, of course, I love that we've gotten to a place where when this comes out, we say, of course, the Carolina Hurricanes, #1. They're in on absolutely everybody. They make things happen. Think of the additions they made this offseason. Think of the addition they made last year with the Mikko Rantanen situation. Think of them flipping him. Think of the guys they didn't even get this offseason. They were in on Evan Bouchard and didn't make it happen, but they still get K'Andre Miller. They still get Nikolai Ehlers. Such an active team, so they're #1, followed by the Detroit Red Wings, who I don't know if Kirill Kaprizov was part of the Yzer plan, but you can sneak him in there at the last second. The Chicago Blackhawks, they're the first team I think of. They're the one that comes to mind the most, and then I'll just run down the rest of it.
Before we move on for that, I believe that they're the only team on this list that Kirill Kaprizov has like lightly suggested that he would like to play for.
There could be a connection to. Let me finish off the list. For his current team, the Minnesota Wild,
that
which
doesn't
is
make sense.
Confusing. Does that mean to begin the 2026-27 season?
I guess it's probably next contract, like the start of the next contract.
Okay, bookies.com. We appreciate the numbers. we're not smart people. Do better with words. New York Rangers at plus 750 because you have to put the Rangers on any list. The Flyers, the Bruins, the Penguins, and Pete's favorite team, if you look at some of the hats he wears, the Field, the NHL. Maybe he just goes out and represents the world.
I do respect the Shield, that's for sure.
That's your guy. Okay. What do you like on that list? I mean, I talked about the Hurricanes and how, of course, they'll be in on everybody because that beautiful Danny Elfman-looking guy they got running the team will make anything happen if he can, or he'll take any swing. But the Blackhawks, I think, are the obvious one.
Every team on that list makes sense to me, except for the Boston Bruins. Yeah, the Boston Bruins. I don't see the Bruins handing out that contract to Kirill Kaprizov for several reasons. But every team other than that makes sense to me. And yeah, like the Blackhawks have been linked to him. The Hurricanes one is very, very interesting to me because you think that they're in on everybody, and they basically are. So you got to include them there. But also this week, Michael Russo, who's very, very connected to the Minnesota Wild, did talk about the possibility of Kaprizov going to Carolina. And he said that he believes Carolina has legitimate interest. I forget what the wording was, but he basically said, quote, extremely motivated to land Kaprizov, and that any package involving him would start with Svechnikov. If Kaprizov goes to Carolina, are they officially the new Vegas Golden Knights?
No, because respectfully, the Carolina Hurricanes, I feel have to work a little harder for it. They break their backs to get these guys, whether the guys want to be there or not. I feel that the hockey world and the hockey gods kind of funnel everything somehow to Vegas, where you just kind of end up there. And the Hurricanes, I think, have to put in a lot more work to make it happen. I would have questions about, we've talked about how the center wing thing doesn't matter as much anymore these days, but at some point, if you're the Hurricanes, don't you want some of those big splashes to be
down the middle,
bona fide down the middle guys?
Well, that's part of the reason why the Bruins still make sense to me is how much money are you going to tie up in wingers?
Eric Ripperson says the Bruins would never do something that exciting. Wrong. They do trades involving star players all the time.
They're just usually going the other way.
They're just usually going the other way. Blackhawks, I threw this out to you guys. I know that Connor Bedard wouldn't be part of it, but the Blackhawks to me are kind of timelineless, where I think that Kaprizov is obviously better than Connor Bedard. That in some world, if I were another team that had a Connor Bedard, I'd be if I can get Kirill Kaprizov, I'll give this guy up. But trading somebody that good and that promising when you have really it feels like the Blackhawks timeline still hasn't even begun. I feel that's kind of pointless.
Yeah, I think trading Bedard doesn't. The Blackhawks can't entertain that right now because you can't sell quote unquote low on Bedard, and you can't risk him becoming the guy everybody thought he was going to be. And Kaprizov does not fit in with the Blackhawks timeline, or lack of timeline, as you put it. The Blackhawks have a lot of young guys right now that they are really, really banking on becoming the centerpieces of their team. It doesn't make sense to trade Bedard to kind of expedite that timeline in my mind. I also think that I'll ask you this. Do you think that Kaprizov, you're willing to pay him $18 million a year, but are you sure that he is the one? You want him to be a one on your team? The leader on your team, the guy.
I don't know about leader because I don't know him personally, but if I'm the Minnesota Wild, yes. And wherever he goes, I think they'll already have somebody who they can say, this is sort of our straw that stirs the drink, whether it's a number one center or whether it's whomever. If with the Wild, it's his team. If he goes to the Blackhawks, you'd hope that it's Bedard's team and that he's a very, very expensive 1A and that you don't put too much pressure on him. I don't know. I just think so much that his value is much greater with the Wild than with anybody else. And I wonder if that's why it's taken so long. Because he knows, like, you guys need me so badly. And if you decide that it's a bridge too far, go ahead, send me someplace I like, and no hard feelings.
It does seem very Minnesota sportsy, or Minnesota Wild in particular, that they would find like the guy, be ready to turn the corner, and then all of a sudden he doesn't want to be there, or he's just like playing too hard of hardball, and they have to go in a different direction.
Shout out Rudy Gobert.
A thing I'll say on the on the $18 million a year thing with the Wild, and that I would pay him that. My track record, and anyone's track record, typically who has said, just give this guy the big contract in the last couple of years, it's kind of a cheat code, because in hindsight, should have just given that guy the contract. The biggest one, obviously, is Rantanen. When he wanted 12, he wanted 13, he wanted like whatever, and you're just like, Avalanche, just pay him that money. Think of the Avalanche now where they would be if they had just given Mikko Rantanen $12 million a year.
But the reason that they didn't do it was because they want to pay the next guy. They want to make sure that they're paying Cale Makar.
But with him only costing $12 million a year, and they didn't know the cap was going up, they could make all three of those happen.
Yeah, I mean, like the Panthers have kind of proven that. Like, if you want to make it work, you can, even though the Panthers are a different situation.
I don't count the Panthers because a lot of those guys have way lower cap hits than you'd think.
I don't really blame the Avalanche. Like, in hindsight, it's easy to say in hindsight they should have given him that contract, which like they probably should have. But like the way that it played out, I don't really blame them for prioritizing Makar over Rantanen if they felt like they could only keep one of them.
Okay, well, God bless Kirill Kaprizov's contract situation for being difficult, because it keeps us from just talking about Connor McDavid's contract situation being difficult. We will do that in just a moment after I tell you about Factor. Oh my goodness. I am such a Factor head. The best, cleanest meal prep situation I've ever had in my life. It is so easy. You got a busy schedule. You got things going on. How about a place with more than 65 weekly meals made for how you live, what you like to eat, giving you more ways to fit in a real meal however your day is going? I did it yesterday. We were doing stuff with the show, running around, all sorts of things up in the air. And I go back. I have like an hour. I put a meal together. Absolutely delicious. And with Factor, you got more variety and more meals. You can choose from a wider selection of weekly meal options, including premium seafood choices like salmon and shrimp at no extra cost. It's the best, and it makes you feel good. It makes you feel like you're doing something. You don't have to quite chop everything. It has you cut some things, but certain things, like there will be like a carrot blend where it'll be a few different carrots cut up in a bag, but they're fresh, they're organic, they're clean. It's amazing, and I want you to have an amazing time with it. Eat smart at factormeals.com/whatchaos50off and use code whatchaos50off to get 50% off your first box plus free breakfast for 1 year. That's code whatchaos50off at factormeals.com for 50% off your first box plus free breakfast for 1 year. Get delicious, ready-to-eat meals delivered with Factor. Offer only valid for new Factor customers with code and qualifying auto-renewing subscription purchase.
Also want to tell you about our friends at Prize Picks, because Prize Picks is our preferred DFS platform for a number of reasons, because it is super easy. They have the best app. Their app is extremely easy to use. The user interface just
a slight update to their branding too. It's very clean. Endearing.
Okay. You know that we don't really love
No, that's
to go
a you
there.
thing. I say I use clean positively, endearingly, frequently.
Well, Prize Picks is the best place to win cash while watching sports. I did so this weekend. I made a little bit of money. I chose more on Bijan Robinson yards, more on Justin Jefferson yards, and then they had a freebie. I forget what it was.
I think I don't remember what it was. This week it's Patrick Mahomes half a pass yard against the New York Football Giants.
I was going to say that's not necessarily a given with Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs offense, but Against the Giants, probably. Although that Giants game this weekend was electric.
That did rock.
Electric. Brandon Aubrey is a monster. Prize Picks invented the flex play, which means that you can still cash out if your lineup isn't perfect. You can double your money even if one of your picks doesn't hit. And like I said, the app's really easy to use. You just create a lineup. All you have to do is pick more or less on a few player stats for your shot to win up to 2,000x your money. Prize Picks also offers weekly promotions that can lead to big payouts like Taco Tuesday each Tuesday. Select player projections up to 25%. Provide even more value for your lineups. So download the app today and use code WhatChaos to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Doesn't matter if it wins, automatic $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup using code WhatChaos. Prize Picks, run your game.
Just real quick, on Prize Picks, they do have NHL season totals.
Oh, yes.
Finally, so
love
check
it.
those out.
We're going to dive in. It's going to be amazing. Let's talk McDavid for a second. Still not signed, obviously. Chris Johnston in The Athletic on Tuesday wrote, quote, his biggest point of reticence per league sources remains an aging roster, which he believes can contend in 25-26, but which doesn't look to be constructed to sustain a championship level over the long term. And he more or less said as much publicly in June, telling reporters, quote, if I feel there's a good window to win here over and over again, then signing is no problem. McDavid had an interview with Elliot and Kyle that aired on 32 Thoughts on Wednesday, in which he said, quote, I have all the faith in the world in this 25-26 season. Beyond that still remains to be seen. Okay. If you're an Oilers fan, you should officially be worried about Connor McDavid and that he is going to just play this season out and then see what's what. My question to you, Pete, is what can happen between now and the beginning of the season that makes him change his mind or feel any better about that this team has a chance to be good for a long time? Like, does he need to see Matthew Savoy have the greatest practice he's ever seen in his life?
They gotta trade for Kirill Kaprizov.
I was reading Bag Milk's article on Oilers Nation. Savoy looked real good apparently in their rookie showcase thing with him and Mike Howard.
Mean, they have two. I'll say top forward prospects, meaning two forward prospects who are like top 50 prospects in the NHL.
Yeah,
and Matthew Savoy and Ike Howard. These aren't first overall picks coming in. They don't have great defense prospects. Their goaltending situation is what their goaltending situation is. But like, really, my question for McDavid is like, do you already know? If you have questions about what are these guys going to be in the future, then you're probably already out the door.
I wouldn't say you're probably already out the door, but like to your point, I don't know what you're going to see in the next few weeks. Like, I don't know what their sales pitch is going to do to change that outlook that you have.
Trade for Kirill Kaprizov.
That's what I just said. Yeah, I mean, beyond that, I don't really know how they're going to set things up beyond this season. And if he wants to play it out and play this season, and like maybe they win the Stanley Cup and he feels better about it, and then he sticks around, sure, but especially if he's thinking about a shorter term deal, which a lot of the chatter has been speculating that he might do 3 years, 4 years, whatever. Like, if you're not going max term, what prevents him from just playing out this season, taking it to the open market, allowing the Oilers to be competitive in this pitch, but open it up because he's not going to get that extra year anyway, or he doesn't want that extra year anyway.
What does he have to gain by signing right now?
Just avoiding the questions, avoiding the year, season long.
I guess
that's a cloud hanging over.
Like, tangibly, what does he have to gain?
Oh no, like financially, as Pete said, he's not going 8 years anyway. So there's nothing that the Oilers can offer him right now that other teams can't, other than Leon Draisaitl and Evan Bouchard. But
they'll have those to offer him next summer. Right. What I'm saying. Like,
yes.
There's no reason for him not to just wait.
And I've always said, like, if he goes into this season without a new contract, be worried. And it's to your point, like, it sounds like he's going to be starting this season without a new contract. At this point, I will be surprised if he signs in the next couple of weeks.
I mean, my behind the scenes murmur, whatever you want to say it, suggested it's going to be done before the beginning of the regular season. So stress if you want to stress, but it's going to be done before the beginning of the regular season.
Do you believe that?
I don't trust like that.
Yeah.
I'm going to say, I mean, day by day, that seems like more and more of a stretch.
And he keeps giving quotes that suggest
Right.
That he's not
like,
going to, yeah.
I mean, like,
That's
what
the
is
thing.
he? Just annoying? Like,
I mean,
he's
it is-
giving these for no reason?
He seems like very intentional, not to
Yes.
the degree of like a Taylor Swift where he's throwing out Easter eggs. But I think that
I've got
close.
time on my hands.
Pretty close.
no.
I mean-
I mean that's like Delulu brain.
Well, yeah, I know.
worms type
All I'm
stuff.
saying is that he obviously can't come out and say, I mean, if we are good this year, then I'll stay. He's saying as close to that as I think he can.
Correct. I think
And
the
that is a
languaging very much points towards
Like, it seems very explicit that he's like, we'll see. Like, if we don't win it, to me, it's if they don't win the Stanley Cup or get screwed over to the point where they have a reasonable belief that they would have won the Stanley Cup if not for whatever happened, I think he's gone.
like,
Okay,
if there's regression, I would be horrified as an Edmonton fan.
I asked earlier, what can he see? Another way of asking it is, what can the Oilers do right now? I mean, I don't think big trades are going to happen because it's still part of this offseason. And the offseason, we know big trades don't happen. Everyone fucking lied to us. But they could, if they wanted to, they could extend their window and it would worsen their window for this year. They could have, if they wanted to, say, we're not going to sign Evan Bouchard. We're going to trade his rights and we're going to get like 2 young guys and just kind of take our chances with that. Do you want to do that if you're trying to win the Stanley Cup and you only have Connor McDavid as of now for 1 more year? Of course you don't do that. So like, what can they do?
And I would argue
nothing.
that would make it less appealing to Connor McDavid.
Let me ask
Then
this.
there's less certainty about what
Well,
they
like
are
I
right
don't,
now.
I don't think he has much interest in a window. Like if you're Connor McDavid, I don't think you can operate with the assumption that you will ever be closer to winning a Stanley Cup than you have been the last 2 years. And so, if they're doing anything to make that team worse in the immediate future, that is a massive risk that I would not take if I'm.
I'm just going to say, like,
greatest of all
fuck the
time.
Pittsburgh Penguins because I think that they've planted this idea in his head. He should be thinking, as long as a team has Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl, they are a Stanley Cup contender. But he's seen what the Penguins have done the last few years, and he's like, oh, damn, I don't want to be that.
I mean, I also think if you're Connor McDavid, you could think if we have Connor McDavid, we're a Stanley Cup contender, and that could be any team I go to.
To be fair to Connor McDavid, like he's been on those teams in Edmonton. Like he is younger, but like he's not been like league worst, but he's been on bad teams in Edmonton.
Yes, but not since he's been, I don't know, like 26, 27.
Yeah, I mean, how old is he now? He's 27 now.
Is he 27? I'll say like not for
God, that makes me so
the like
upset.
true prime years of his career, meaning like the last
28.
Yeah, so like not since we'll say he's been 25, 26, 27. He's been on good teams that, yeah, the Oilers are Oilersy, but those teams without Connor McDavid, if they had, say, an average number 1 center along with Leon Draisaitl, like those are still good teams. They're obviously not what they are with Connor McDavid, but it's not like he's been just dragging this group of shit with him. He's had arguably the second best player in hockey with him. He's had
2, that's for sure.
really good goal scorers, multiple with him. He's had like high-end defensemen. Not a perfect roster, but it's not like he's been dragging around what Sid's been dragging around.
No, and I don't think that, like, especially over the past 2 years, obviously with them making the Stanley Cup final, like he has not been playing on a team where they are wasting his prime years, which is what we said for so long about the Oilers, where they're like, God damn it, like put a real team around this guy and let him make a run at it. They have been doing that. So let me flip the question. Do you think that at this point, McDavid's kind of putting the Oilers in a unenviable position in terms of like what the outlook is? Because
yes.
like to the conversation that you were kind of building, it's like, well, what is our goal here? Are we pushing everything in to win this year in order to convince you to stay? Or are we restructuring what our window is or what our team is contending for the next 5 years?
Yeah, no, I would, if he wants them to take a step back, have a fallow year, load up, and he's signing for 8 years, I'm doing that. And they are this close. The Oilers are. The Oilers are this close. We don't know what Matthew Tkachuk's health situation is. It's not good right now. They're this close to winning the Stanley Cup. If they need to take a step back and merely be a playoff team who you never know, they got McDavid and Draisaitl, they can make a run this year, and that means that they look better in the long term. If that means McDavid staying, absolutely.
Yeah.
I will sacrifice how close they are to win a Stanley Cup right now to know that I have Connor McDavid. And I'm not saying that, none of us are, about any other player in the world, and maybe even any other player in sports.
I don't know. That's a very interesting,
I'll do it
because
I'm at his fucking mercy.
Also, the thing is like if there wasn't a contract situation going on, they would be they would be doing everything possible to win a Stanley Cup this year.
Yes.
And so
I also think that there's probably zero appetite from Connor McDavid, regardless of anything, to take a step backwards, especially after losing 2 in a row. Everything that we hear is like this guy's just all he cares about is winning. All he wants to do is win, which is maybe part of the reason why he's not signing with Edmonton. I think that there's zero appetite for them to take a single step backward.
Okay, we didn't solve this problem. We never will. Only Connor McDavid can solve this problem. But damn, if it isn't,
it's getting way juicier than I expected.
I was going to say
way juicier than I expected this to be.
Can I just say thank you, Connor McDavid, because he could have just kept doing the we'll see, but the fact that he keeps saying the we'll see after this year thing has made this way more interesting.
Okay, going to speed through some odds and ends. Congratulations to JT Miller, who, if you forgot, is on the Rangers and is now the captain of the Rangers. That leaves 2 teams that do not have captains, your Boston Bruins and all of our San Jose Sharks. Shout out you, Pete. A friend texted you and said, did Mike Felger just say Connor McDavid isn't coming back to the Oilers and that he could come to the Bruins? I went back and listened to it. Mike Felger's take yesterday was the Bruins aren't naming a captain because they're saving it in case Connor McDavid wants to come here.
Awesome.
It's honestly,
cinema.
Honestly, I don't hate it. I don't think it's true, but I like leaving it open.
Great behavior.
Number one, because I don't think the Bruins need to name a captain right now. I don't think they should name a captain right now.
They don't have a captain.
And if you have the captaincy available and you can make that part of your sales pitch to Connor McDavid, God bless.
The only thing I will say is who, and I get that, like, if you were to just, for argument's sake, if you were to give Nikita Zadorov the captaincy and you can't just like take it from, he wouldn't be thrilled about you taking it from him. But like, who really has a case to be like, if they gave him the captaincy for a year and then Connor McDavid shows up,
I think
you're telling me Nikita Zadorov's going to throw a fit over having to give up the C for the greatest player in the.
I think that's an incredible thought discussion.
Yes.
Is how many players in the league would give up to the captaincy if their team like signed Connor McDavid and he wanted it.
I mean,
I would give up either of you for Connor McDavid for anything.
On this show?
For just anything.
I mean,
they were just like,
realistically,
Connor McDavid
Connor
or
McDavid
Sean,
makes this podcast.
I'm like, I don't know what that means. Sean would understand.
Yeah.
I mean, it depends on the terms there, but I also might take that trade.
Yeah.
But I just like the Bruins in particular, I don't think have a single captain worth player. I mean, maybe Pasta. Otherwise,
you more brought up the best scenario in the world, which is, and I hadn't thought of this. I've been pushing the Zadorov wear the C thing all my life. Name Nikita Zadorov captain and then strip the C from Nikita Zadorov. That shit rules.
Don't strip the C. I mean, I know it's still the same thing, but do the Tavares thing. Have him give the C to Connor McDavid, and then he becomes a little bit of a hero for being the guy who sacrificed his captaincy for the greatest player of all time to come to Boston.
I don't know if Tavares gave the
I know.
C.
Well, that's why I said it was basically the same thing, but it's like the mutually agreed to part ways. It's like that coach got fired, but they're being nice to them, so they allowed them to hand it over. That's what you do with Zadorov.
Famously, Nikita Zadorov has kept tabs on us. There's no shot he does, but do you think he knows how much we talk about him being captain of the Bruins?
I don't know.
No.
That would be such an uncomfortable thing to carry if you're Nikita Zadorov. Why does one of the hockey shows only talks about Connor McDavid's contract and me being captain of the Boston Bruins? I really wish they would stop.
For the record,
big news for you. What's that?
I just looked at the list of the captains, and I think there's like 6 guys that have a legitimate, like, I'm not giving this up. I think the list is not that long.
How about Alexander Georgiev for captain of the Buffalo Sabres, Sean? What do you think of that?
Goalie should be able to be captain, and if you're going to say his name, say it correctly. Former NHL All-Star Alexander Georgiev.
Forgiev.
6 Giev.
I gotta say, I don't like this for your guys.
I don't like this particularly. My response when you said this morning is Devin Levi. Is he just he's just not a good goalie? Like, he's not going to be like, because if you're doing this, I guess you got to add the UPL content.
If you're doing a goalie depth chart, like, I still think
he's 4. He's the backup. He's the backup in the AHL.
Who? Georgiev?
Yeah. If all 4 are healthy.
And
we have Alex Lyon too.
Georgiev is similar. I can't believe we haven't talked about. Shout out our Columbus Blue Jackets for getting our guy Ivan Fedotov. After all that trouble that the Flyers went to bring Fedotov to Philadelphia, they trade him to the Blue Jackets. And I forget who said this, but it's absolutely correct. The reason why the Blue Jackets can get Fedotov is he's making like $3.75 million against the cap. They can waive him and absolutely nobody's touching him. Similarly, signing Alexander Georgiev to any contract, I think they can waive him and no one's picking him up. So
they signed him to more than the league minimum.
Yeah.
Georgiev?
Not much more, but like not league minimum, which is crazy.
It's disrespectful to any current free agent goalie.
That is for sure. You wake up with that news that he got $825,000 on a guaranteed 1-year deal, and you don't have a deal, like, I would just go back to bed.
It's like every time Nathan Peterman got signed to a practice squad and people were like, and they're not signing Colin Kaepernick.
That's exactly what I was
real
say.
Nice.
I think Georgiev is a 4th string. Like, he's going to be better for that role. Like, you're not going to sign Aaron Rodgers to be your 3rd string quarterback. That would be detrimental to the team.
But the point here is that Georgiev is not above PTO. Like, Georgiev is a PTO player.
I guess I'd be more curious to see what the exact intent of signing him was, because, like, at first my reaction was they signed him to be an AHL backup, and there's a responsibility, like, an AHL backup that you can also plug into the NHL so you don't have to fuck up Devin Levi's development plan. I'm just concerned the fact that they're, like, if UPL is not playing, Devin Levi's that far away from being an NHL goalie that they can't plug him in.
Here's what I did see this morning from the Sabres update. Kevin Adams said that UPL is day-to-day and that they've gotten encouraging signs over the past few days. But it sounded like, I heard Elliott talking about it. Elliott seemed like he was pretty concerned about the UPL situation in Buffalo. In terms of the uncertainty.
I would be concerned about the UPL situation because he wasn't that good that last year. Like, they just might not really have an NHL goalie, which is going to fuck up all the work that they quote unquote did to make themselves better. It doesn't matter if you don't have an NHL goalie.
Well, they've got an NHL All-Star goalie, so that's all that matters.
Does your first round draft pick rules apply here? Is he forever an All-Star?
Quite frankly, about a lot of the things that have annoyed me. Like
you're getting tired of getting annoyed by them?
I'm getting tired of caring about it. So like you asking like, hey, what's the ruling on this or whatever? I'm like, I fucking hate the way I am.
Yeah.
Like now I have to think about it. I've had a tension headache for like a month now. And when like I'm just probably dying because of how
you've made
worked up I've
that
made
guy.
myself.
Yeah. You did make yourself that guy.
That's how I am with like Nike.
And people loved it for a while, but I don't love it anymore.
I think you gotta really find your camps and commit to like a handful of camps. You got too many camps.
Very, very few.
So you don't even have an interest in giving a ruling on this.
Okay, ruling on
former All-Star versus forever All-Star.
Former All-Star. I mean, the status does change where like you're not a current All-Star. You're not in that season. Yeah. But I don't know. Like I'll be like, Christian Gonzalez is an all-pro cornerback.
Yeah.
When you could say like one-time All-Star.
Yeah. Yeah.
Best time All-Star. That's what I say about Alex Georgiev and John Scott are in a sacred place in my heart.
Alex Georgiev
I did love
wasn't
that-
the least impressive player at that All-Star game. So
I did love that in the Sabres release when talking about the Georgiev signing, it was like he had an .875 save percentage last year, but he led the NHL in wins in the 2 years before that.
I just love that they signed like the biggest possible meme goalie.
Yeah.
Like you were saying, there's a bunch of guys they could have probably signed a PTO, but they signed the guy that's like
everybody agrees.
But I think
This is like
Georgiev
the worst goalie of all
Georgiev
time.
and the Sabres might cancel each other out.
No.
I mean,
I don't see that happening.
I
They're
don't
going to
know
be a super Sabre.
if Georgiev like. I like part of me is like maybe Georgiev can be returned to his all-star form, but that doesn't mean anything because he wasn't good.
Yes,
shouldn't
he
have been
wasn't
an all-star.
good.
So like it's like there is no like I say
It was
like,
a coding error on NHL's website.
Quite literally, like it's a fun joke to be like former all-star, but there is no like. Oh, maybe like there's no like signing Terrell Owens or Reggie Bush like the Bills did, where it's like, hey, maybe there's a little bit of something still in there. There was
Like,
never
like,
anything in there to
Know how
begin
to
with.
use, someone didn't know HTML, and
Yeah,
that's
so
why
like wins.
When you're talking about Alex Georgiev, like at his peak and return to peak form, it was like him punching Tony D'Angelo in the face.
And being the only reason the Colorado Avalanche weren't like an absolute juggernaut.
Correct.
Okay,
Hell
we
yeah.
have to speed through some jersey stuff, and with it comes the announcement of our Fanatics jersey stream this year, which is going to be so fun. Let's begin, though, with jerseys that have been revealed in the last few days. I've lost it in the rundown because we're doing a new rundown thing, and I am as good at computers as the person who made the Alex Georgiev All-Star voting situation. Sean, can you give me the Red Wings first? Red Wings Centennial jerseys. This is proof that, and if you're watching, make sure, or if you're not watching, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube. But this Centennial jersey is proof that the Boston Celtics don't get an out when their alternate jerseys stink. When they're like, well, we have a perfect primary jersey, so anything else that we make is going to be worse. This is worse than a Red Wings normal jersey, but this is still a 4 billion out of 10.
I don't even like. I think this jersey is so good. I don't even know if it's worse than their home jersey.
Too many stripes. That's my only complaint.
Too much shit.
I like
stripes.
the
Centennial
stripes are the
jerseys
only
love
thing.
stripes.
They
Yeah,
do.
That's the
I
only thing
like
that makes
these
it
stripes
worse.
though. Like for some reason, I feel like it really works, and I love the lettering. I love the just like
The material. I like the material on the numbers.
It's
that you see
so
on the
good. I love this jersey, and they went with the retro helmet sponsor patch. Like incredible stuff.
Oh,
and
the
if we're
CCM
talking,
and Bauer that you see on the helmets, or even
they
the
went with
throwback
retro
logo.
logos.
That's cool.
On the helmets. Like there's just like a lot of detail here that I love.
nice touch.
Plus, they moved the priority ad patch to the shoulder. Unbelievable behavior.
Interesting because they also put the Centennial patch on the shoulder. So they didn't like they just did it really just to keep the front of the jersey clean as opposed to like not having the room for it.
I
Sotheby
feel like
nailed it. Great job.
The Red Wings protect their
Did you
brand.
design the jerseys?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I feel like the Red Wings protect their brand almost as well as like any team in sports.
Yeah, the thing I was going to say about the Celtics comparison is the difference with the Celtics is they don't have a logo. Like this, there is a strong logo that they need to have on everything.
That is so good, and I want one so badly. More than that, though, I think I want the new Capitals jersey. Sean, give it to me. This incredible red, white, and blue screaming eagle. I mean, the lettering still stinks, baby. I don't like the I don't like what the numbers are.
I mean, I feel like that's the most identifiable part of the Capitals branding right now.
I know, but I don't like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like, but I mean, I love that this is, so they've done the red, white, and blue Screaming Eagle before on a reverse retro, I believe. But they did a fun thing, and it's an increasingly Washington Capitals thing of saying, what if we put more shit on it? So they add the two-tone shoulder, and I'm crazy about it.
Yeah, these are good. I was saying the other day, I saw that Wish had tweeted that I don't know if this was coming from like information he had or just vibes, but he's like, I wouldn't be surprised if these were their full-time home jerseys.
They are busy and beautiful.
Yeah, they're super busy.
But they're less busy than their current jerseys, I feel like.
No.
The logo
last
is just
year,
so aggressively, like the Capitals word mark is so busy to me. It's disgusting.
Well, remember that last year also was an anniversary year, so they also had another fucking patch. There was for
So many
sure
patches.
too much
Well,
shit
I
on
was
it.
just talking about like the the main logo, like the striping and the word mark on the current main Capitals jerseys is just such a mess to me.
Okay,
I feel like I'm kind of desperate for anything to happen with the Capitals in terms of their uniforms right now. That is super busy. I don't know if I 100% love it, but it's a step in the right direction. It feels like it's just better than what they've been wearing.
Sean, do we have any more new jerseys? There's the leak of the Oilers one that we can hit for a second. Okay,
Bad.
This came out last week, and I need it with better lighting, et cetera, et cetera. The Oilers script is random. And of course, I like it, and we'll be getting it. And we don't even know if this is real, but I'll just officially say I like it.
It sounds like it's real from like people who have been talking about this jersey for a while are like, yeah, this lines up with what I've seen and heard, and it's a bad jersey.
What color is it?
Stinks, baby.
What color is it?
I think it's cream.
Oh, is it cream? I just figured it was white, and that was the lighting.
I think that it's cream. It could be white. But
everything that I was told about it in like the last year suggested it would be these types of colors with a cream.
So is it blue accessories still, or do they go brown? Like, I don't know exactly what the goal of these are. It's just a third jersey, right? Like, it's not
yeah, I think it's an alternate jersey. Yeah.
So then it's got to be. I would assume it's got to be blue.
Does not do anything for me at all. Like, just get this out of my life.
Until
what?
We know what the big until is. Someone on social pointed this out, and it's so correct.
Until a certain somebody puts it on.
Until a certain somebody puts it on, and suddenly, damn, that looks good.
Leon Draisaitl?
Yes.
Yeah, that's the delusion of the Oilers fan base. Like, it's
I don't know.
Oilers
That's such
fans.
a bad
I'll be honest. I see a lot more people than Oilers fans simping Leon Draisaitl.
Well, yeah, but like I will not change my opinion
powerful,
of a jersey based off of Leon wearing it, and I think that's what separates me from the Oilers fandom, because Oilers fans will say that this sucks, they'll believe that this sucks, and I still think that they'll go to the pro shop thinking that this jersey sucks and then shell out like $300 for it.
Yes, I mean, that is ultimately
but that's not.
a fan.
I don't need to defend Oilers fans, but that's not an Oilers fan.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's ultimately
that is
just being
a everybody thing.
No, I think that Oilers fans.
Pete, you own every Bruins jersey they've ever made.
I definitely think certain fan bases. I think there's levels to it. Yeah. I think and I think the Oilers are definitely at the top of that, or the end of that spectrum in terms of like they're definitely.
What you want your fans to be.
I do not own every Bruins jersey ever made. I have not bought like 3 of the Winter Classic jerseys that I thought were kind of bad.
What was the one that said like Boston and then had a small little bear there?
Yeah, that was the Winter Classic.
That jersey fucking stunk, and a lot
I don't
of people
own
bought
it.
You didn't get it?
No.
Okay, so very, very good. But I'm saying whether or not something's good, fans are going to buy it. That's not a very enlightened conversation.
I think that taste is subjective. So there will be fans that buy any jersey, even though like the majority of them think that it sucks. What I'm saying is that I think that there are Oilers fans who will think that this jersey sucks and buy it anyway.
Oh, I mean, we famously seek out jerseys to get if they suck.
Yeah.
You have the DeBrinkta jersey. You have the Piss jersey.
I push back against either of those jerseys sucking though.
It's a novelty item.
Yes. There's a difference between like this jersey to me, I said it when you guys sent it in the group chat, looks like something a minor league baseball team would give away on Oilers night.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't look like a good Oilers
And it's
jersey.
also just the Winnipeg Jets script jersey from a couple of years ago with the light blue.
Like, and also like the Oilers have a good logo. Don't take it off the jersey.
Right.
Okay. Let's tell you about the FANATICS stream. Last year, if you remember, we did a stream and a collaboration with FANATICS in which we each got a jersey, but we kept it a secret. We did not say which jersey we were getting, and we all had to guess who was getting what, and the audience guessed as well. And if the audience correctly guessed a jersey, they were entered into a drawing to get a free jersey of their choice. Pete famously got Quentin Byfield. Sean got Quentin Byfield. I got Matvei Michkov. I was considering Risto, but I chose at the last second. You know what? I'll get Michkov. And Randy correctly guessed that Sean got Quentin Byfield. Make whatever assumptions you want to make about Randy. And was then entered and won his choice of jersey, which, do you remember what he got?
He got a Gabriel Landeskog alternate Colorado Avalanche jersey.
And we said what to him?
You fucking idiot.
You sure about that?
You guys did. I didn't have a problem with that jersey.
Yeah. But Randy got his jersey. He loved it. It was a great time, and it was a fun guessing game. We're doing it again this year, but with a twist. We are not going to pick our jerseys. Our jerseys are going to be picked by the other two people. So Sean and Pete pick my jersey. Sean and I pick Pete's jersey. Pete and I pick Sean's jersey. Now, we'll still have the guessing game part of it. So the audience can guess who gets what, and if they are correct, then they will be entered into a drawing. We'll probably spin the wheel again, and then they can get the jersey of their choice. Here's where it gets more fun. There's stipulations. Like last year, we are not allowed to get jerseys of our favorite teams. So Sean and I cannot get Pete a Bruins jersey. Pete and Sean cannot get me an Oilers jersey, and Pete and I cannot get Sean a Sabres jersey. The last thing, do you have the rules, Sean? Throw them up. The last thing, we are allowed to each say one jersey is off limits for us. So if there is a jersey Pete really does not want, he is allowed to declare that jersey off limits.
Does not want that he thinks that we might give him.
Yes.
Yes.
Right, because I'm sure there's a lot of jerseys Pete doesn't want.
Yes.
And so there's some chatter in the chat right now that already is hitting hitting some boxes that we will be avoiding because
you don't know that.
My no-go.
You got one no-go.
Okay.
We're going to declare
the other
today,
thing.
by the way.
Like,
we're going to have a conversation about it, and then we're going to declare who's off limits, because I don't know who's off limits for me.
Part of the goal is not necessarily to get a jersey that they actively want, but a jersey that they will appreciate positively.
Right.
So
It could be.
But we're not going to get Pete a Habs jersey.
You don't know that?
We discussed that, though.
No, we were saying what our strategies might be, but we can absolutely get Pete a Habs jersey.
Yeah, like there's only one hard and fast rule, but I feel like ultimately the goal of this should be to get a jersey that excites the other person, whether it's like
that's what you think.
Excites is a broad term.
We're not
we gotta fuck DJ over.
Huh?
We gotta fuck DJ over now.
I mean,
we gotta go.
I feel like it's impossible.
I'm just saying we're not
going
to fucking spike the mystery of it out the gate and say.
Well, but I'm saying like we're not gonna part of the point is to get something that they will wear.
We're not spiking the mystery of it. We're setting like a general
so people aren't
the rules are what the rules are. We said what the
North
rules
Star.
are. If Sean and I want to get you a Habs jersey, we can. We could choose to not do that because we say, you know what? Pete might really want this player jersey. Let's get it. If we think it would be funny to get him this, then we could do that instead. There's one jersey. We are allowed to say one jersey you cannot get us. So audience, strike that from the record. If they want to get me, I don't know, somebody that I hate, even though I don't hate anybody, they can do that. And we want to keep the options open so they can guess anybody.
But I mean, part of the stream last year was like they were guessing based on our interests. So there's that.
Yes.
And also, like, you can get me whatever you want.
Right.
But if you get me an Ottawa Senators jersey, I am not putting that on. Like, it is not go. I'm not wearing that.
You don't hear how this is now so tempting for Pete and I to get you an Ottawa Senators
No, you can.
jersey?
You can absolutely do that. But if part of the stream is to show off these jerseys, that's not happening. I'm not putting that jersey on.
Yeah, and I want there to be some level of excitement, whether it's like humor, whether it's
thank you. Yes.
That's what I'm getting at. Like, I'll be if I open it up and it's a Senators jersey, there's not going to be any joy. I'm going to be disappointed.
Yes.
Whereas if you were to get me like a fucking I don't know. I don't want to put out a specific one, but like there's ones that I would not like you got me like a random Stars jersey where I'd be like, that's a shitty jersey, but that's fun. Like, that's different.
All options except for one are open.
Right. There's only one hard and fast rule on the board.
Well, two. Can't be our team and it can't be the player.
Yeah, fair.
It can't be our team, yes. And
so I'm not getting a Georgiev jersey.
Which, see, that would be fun.
Well, if you want to give me a Rochester Americans jersey, which I don't know if that's not a Fanatics thing, but
we will get you a 2026 Georgiev Buffalo Sabres All-Star jersey. That counts.
Oh,
those don't exist. There's no 2026 All-Stars.
But they might sell the jerseys because the NHL loves a quick buck.
Yeah, we don't know what they're doing.
So that's the technicality on which he would have been another All-Star, but they did Olympics this year.
Yes.
And because Georgiev is
Russian.
Yes,
so no Olympics anyways.
So he is eligible for the All-Star game. He's free.
Yeah, I guess so.
NHL should do an All-Star game.
No, because then the Sabres are going to have to trade him because they don't want minor leaguers in the All-Star game.
Okay.
Shout out John Scott.
All right. So the chat is buzzing and speculating, which is nice. And we will reveal the date of this stream coming soon. But for now, the goal of this conversation is for us to each decide who we will leave off limits. I have a leader in my clubhouse as to who I don't want, but I also think if I don't protect this jersey, you guys wouldn't fuck me over and get me it. So that's that's why I didn't want to take that off the table, because I want there to be strategy in, like, they probably won't get me this, but fuck. Like, so I might want to make sure.
I'll tell you right now, my no-go player is a player that I think would have come up in your conversations that I don't necessarily want, because it doesn't really get me going like that.
Okay. All right. That's a good strategy.
We're also going to have side conversations after this that will be revealed on the stream of us talking through who we want to get the other person. But for example, Pete, you would be wise to protect Jordan Binnington. Or would you not be? Because ultimately, would your best friend fuck you like that?
Probably.
Could be funny.
The quickness with which Sean arrived at guessing my no-go, and
I also, for what it's worth, guessed
chat
what
arrived.
I think DJ's.
What was
no-go.
DJ's?
Well, I guess I don't know if it's officially his, so I'll wait. But
chat arrived very quickly at Jordan Binnington probably being my no-go.
That's your no-go?
Yeah.
I think my no-go is
I will never wear a Jordan Binnington jersey.
My no-go might surprise you guys.
Shit, I can't decide. I think I do have to lock in this one as a no-go, but who do you think my no-go is?
I have no idea.
Sean, who do you think it is?
Well, I mean, you just mentioned Risto, I think, but I don't know.
That's who my leader in the clubhouse is. For like, I already have a Flyers jersey. I did come close to getting a Risto jersey. I don't want two Flyers jerseys.
I mean,
the Risto thing isn't as funny to me anymore.
Yeah, and also, like, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how much I want to peel back the curtain. I just like getting you another Flyers jersey kind of defeats the point too.
Right, and I are you?
But also, a Risto jersey would fucking rock.
Are you locking that in because, like, I don't want to share my feelings?
Yeah,
and then, like, have you change your mind? I feel like you have to lock it in.
Why? You think there's one I should be? You think there's another one? I'm not
going to share my feelings until you lock it in. Like,
who should I? Yes, that's fair. Who should I really not want to get? And again, like, we probably are not going to fuck each other over. But, like, if you were to fuck me over, who would you get me? I don't hate any players.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at too.
If you
that's
get me
why,
a Canucks
I don't have
jersey, I'll be pumped.
Yeah, like, I don't have players. I have teams that I don't like. I don't know that I have a whole lot of players that I'm like. I mean, I guess like Jack Eichel. I wouldn't probably.
That's the one that I suggested.
Yeah, that kind of has to be yours.
That's what I suggested
that was not
that your no-go
even.
would be.
That was just me thinking out loud.
But we're probably not doing that unless when Pete and I deliberate, Pete points out that it would be funny, in which case I'll be very tempted.
And which, again, I just want to make it very clear. I'm not going to pretend to be excited. If I'm disappointed, I'm going to make it clear that it's not big. I mean, it's going to be a nice jersey. It's going to be a high-quality jersey because that's what Fanatics does. But I'm going to be disappointed by the colors and the name on the back.
In chat, you have to figure out whether we're going to be funny, whether we're going to be nice, whether we're going to be cool.
This makes the guessing way harder, that's for sure.
That's what I'm saying, brother. That's what I'm saying. I have two in mind that I definitely want to get you.
There was two that came up for me for Pete relatively quickly.
I bet we have the same two.
I think I
have two for you that I came up with very quickly as well.
Yeah. So I'll go. Like, my block is Brad Marchand. Because I think that was a little too obvious and would have come up. And I don't, if every jersey in the league is on the table, I don't want a Panthers jersey.
Wow, that's hilarious that, like, the two jerseys that you've thrown out that you haven't locked yours in yet, but the two that you've thrown out are jerseys that we've discussed that both of you want.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So that's my strategy, is like, I don't want you to choose something that is too obvious.
You want to make us work
a little bit. Like, I don't know exactly, because I think there's other ones that I have talked about that are also, like, high on my list, but those jerseys are cooler to me. Like a Brad Marchand jersey rocks, but like the Panther jersey itself is just doesn't do it for me like other teams might.
And I think that there's like a little bit of shock and awe has been removed when you've talked about wanting a jersey already.
Yeah. So like that's kind of, and that was part of my mindset is like I didn't know if you would go there because it was so obvious, but I just figured I'll be safe. And I guess I hadn't even considered the idea of you guys getting me a Jack Eichel jersey. I'm going to trust that you guys aren't going to be not assholes. You're not going to tank the stream.
You can't
because
trust that
will in part happen. I can promise you that.
This has gone so well so far, where we've explained the ground rules, then we explained, and we probably won't do this, and then got into a heated thing of like, the fuck we won't do this, and then peeled it back. We've kind of gone everywhere, and now my head is fucking spinning, especially from you blocking a good jersey that you would want. Fuck.
Because also, like, because, like I said, there's other jerseys that I think we all know that I have said that I want. But, like, we spent so much time together, especially within the context of hockey, that I trust that you could go somewhere that I haven't even thought of that I would still think is cool.
Yeah.
So I kind of wanted to, by no means would be upset by their jerseys, because I think some of the jerseys that I've said are still a little unique. If it's a jersey that I've never mentioned before, that could be cool too. But you're also at least taking a more of a risk there.
You know what? Fuck it. It does open it pretty wide if I lock in Risto.
Yeah.
Even though I don't think that you would get me Risto, it would be, if we hadn't discussed it, that would be the funniest option. If you were like, okay, Risto boy.
Are you locking in Risto?
I'm locking in Risto.
I tell you right now, Risto would have been the first name I would have mentioned in my Pete's meeting. 100%.
No, you would have gotten Risto.
100%. And I think as I talked about it a little bit more, I would have been like, we probably shouldn't get him another Flyers jersey, but it would 100% would have been the first name I brought up.
Okay, were you thinking that?
Yeah, I was thinking that like it takes air out of it that you almost got it for yourself last year, and
but
then
also,
you still ended up with a Flyers
but
jersey.
punishing me with Risto a year after being like, how cool would it be knowing that when I got it, I would have been like, well, this fucking sucks.
It would have been kind of awesome if like year 3 we had done this and we look up and DJ has 3 Flyers jerseys. Like if we had just kept on running, which I guess is still possible because it's just one player, but like
Michkov, Risto, and Zegras.
Yeah, I forgot Zegras is on that team. Holy shit.
Okay, so Pete cannot get Jordan Binnington. I cannot get Rasmus Ristolainen, and Sean cannot get Brad Marchand. These are going to be some interesting conversations. Yeah. We are going to tape our deliberations.
Yes.
Right
I want to modify no jersey clause. Like I want a list.
Interesting. This is going to be good. This is going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I like this.
And we'll make the form and we'll post for all of you where you can guess who's getting what. As Sean said, the guessing is going to be a lot harder this year.
Yeah.
I think that I can think of 1, maybe 2 jerseys that I would expect to come up in your conversation, but they're also a little obvious. If it's beyond that, I have no idea where you guys might go.
We haven't like eliminated the possibility of 2 of us getting the same jersey like we did last year, but it seems way more unlikely now that we all know. Yes. We would all know if there was a repeat.
Yes, I also think you gotta be a little careful in our conversations. Like if you 2 have gone and you decided to get me a Quentin Byfield jersey, and then we have our meeting, and you got to be careful that you're not like hinting that like I don't want to get another Quentin Byfield, like somebody's already gotten that one.
Yeah,
just be careful in your meetings.
This is going to be so good. And this show has been so good. Make sure, everybody, that you are subscribed everywhere you can be. We've begun doing the work for our regular season episodes and putting together things and making little tweaks here and there. We did something yesterday that we cannot wait for you to see, and you'll see it during the regular season. It's going to be amazing. So excited for hockey to be back. I'm so glad that football's back and that my Sundays are spoken for now. But man,
and Thursdays and Mondays.
I can't wait to just be sitting on that damn couch, watching some hockey games, texting the boys.
That's the thing I do love about hockey, or I guess I hate about football, is that like you get most of the week there is no football. There's hockey every night.
I have never felt more strongly about my spiritual seasons take, because the second that football was on TV,
it's fall, baby.
It was fall.
Yeah,
it was fall, and like I was ready for hockey. I was ready for sports. We are still not officially in fall. Go outside and tell me that it's not fucking fall. Live a week
I'm wearing a full
of this
gray
life
sweatsuit
and tell
right
me
now.
that it's not fall.
No,
Tell me there's not a crisp.
I mean, I pushed back to the spiritual seasons things originally, but this spiritual fall has swung me in the opposite direction.
Same. When he came up with that take, I explained to him why it was incorrect.
Because wasn't it like winter though too? Like it was a different transition.
I
He
said
said, like,
after
this
the
is why
after the
spring
Super Bowl.
sucks.
After the I said it in like late February.
It was late February. It was slushy out, and Pete was like, "Everybody likes spring, but this is why it sucks."
After the
like,
Super
"It's
Bowl
spring."
is spring.
Yeah.
After the Super Bowl is spring.
Yes.
But yes, I explained to him why that was incorrect when he said it at the time. But I cite it more than I cite maybe anything any of my friends has ever said. Like, I believe it. I'm signed up for it. I'm behind it.
Fall specifically, like you can smell fall.
Yeah.
You can tell.
Kelly says respectfully, it's 85 degrees in Illinois today.
So that's a warm fall day.
Exactly. It can be 85 in the fall.
Yeah, I mean, if it's Dia's saying the Halloween decorations. If you go based on Halloween decorations, I don't know if you take frequent stops to like any craft stores or anything like that. Halloween decorations have been up since July.
Yeah, we can't go by that calendar because those
They're on
like,
their own thing.
It's as soon as the last major holiday has passed, it's the next holiday.
And it changes every year. Like it gets like a week earlier every year.
Yeah.
So
July 4th, Halloween
my
decorations.
spiritual calendar does not change.
All right. Make sure you're subscribed everywhere you can be. We've got a great clip that's going like micro V on Instagram right now from last week. Shut up. From last week, in which Pete had an amazing take that teams need to ban numbers in addition to retiring them. There should be one number that's banned. We said that's a clip. That's going to be a social clip. Sean dressed it up so nice, tossed in a video of Mac Jones hitting the gritty, and people have been sharing it ever since. So do it with that and do it with everything. What would you call that, Pete?
Amplifying. Amplifying is very important to the show. We are suckers to the algorithm, and we
sounds like a Lady Gaga album.
Suckers to the algorithm. Yeah. We are suckers to the algorithm. So if you can comment, you can subscribe, you can like, you can share. All of that stuff helps us and helps get the show out there, and we would very much appreciate it.
Late breaking news. We have a stat correction, Tony Reali.
Yes. True. I love that part of PTI, by the way.
Yeah.
The notes and crush. Georgiev is Bulgarian.
Not Russian.
Which is
congratulations to
spiritually the same thing. Like they're also not allowed to. Bulgaria is also not allowed to play internationally.
Oh.
Because famously,
well, shout out Bulgaria.
Dmitry Simashev and Danil Boot, in order for the then Coyote staff to scout them, GMBA and company had to basically sneak into Bulgaria to watch them play in a tournament.
They are so invested in those guys.
Yeah, I mean, to the moon, baby.
They better be.
Too much work for those guys to not be awesome. All right, we got more coming. We'll talk to you soon. Bye, love you.
We all silly like the mayor.